Hey everybody, Charlie Stevens here. Thanks again for tuning in to another guitar lesson. In our last lesson we learned the main riff for the tune Iron Man by Black Sabbath, and in this lesson we're going to learn some of the other cool stuff that they do. There's a couple of different riffs on that song that are pretty cool and pretty beginner friendly and good ways to learn about our minor blues scale and pentatonic shapes and things like that. So in the very beginning of the song we have this weird kind of thing, and he's using an electric guitar with a lot of distortion and sustain, and he's bending the low E down behind the nut. Okay, there's all this tension on this string. We can push it down and release it and get that. I have to push pretty hard on this acoustic to get it to sound kind of like his. Okay, now when I was a kid, I didn't realize that he did that, but I heard that on the beginning of the song, and I used to actually adjust my tuners to get that. Okay, so that can be kind of cool too. The tricky thing about that is it's very hard to do precise. If you do that at the gig and then you jump into playing it and your E string, like you didn't tune it right back exactly where it goes, it could be a mess. So I'd recommend you maybe don't do that, or do it for fun at home, but at the gig you might not want to unless you're really sure you're going to land it right back on tune, which could be a great ear training exercise actually, so maybe you can have fun with that. But I'm going to go ahead and double check to see if I made it back to E or not. Not quite, right? See, I was a little out of tune, and then I had to fix it. So if I had done that move, oh yeah, look at me, I'm so cool, and then I started the song and now my string is all out of tune, it's gonna sound bad, right? So tread lightly with that trick. Doing this theoretically could pull you out of tune, but I think it's much less likely than actually changing all your physical tuners. So I'd probably recommend doing that way if you have to sneak this in. But yeah, it's a little trickier on acoustic. It's definitely kind of an electric thing. But yeah, they add some studio stuff to it, make it sound kind of cool. So if you're playing on acoustic, you don't necessarily need to throw that in, but you can. But just be careful that A, you don't untune your string, and B, you don't break your string. So my string, I'm not really too worried that it's going to break by doing this because I only have sort of one wrap around my low E, okay, right now. But now if I had several wraps around and there was more tension on that string, pushing it down might cause it to break. Or especially this tuning thing I'm doing when I'm raising the thing. If it's already really tight and there's a lot of tension on there and I went to tune it up like a half step or whatever this is, I could break the string, okay? So I should have maybe warned you that before I showed you. Hopefully you didn't already break your string as you're watching this and go, oh, now you tell me. But just some food for thought. Generally, we don't want to raise the tension on our strings because there is a risk of breaking it. Like I said, I was pretty confident I wasn't going to break mine, so I went for it. You'll have to kind of be the judge of things like that for yourself, but there is a risk of that, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Don't break your string and then blame me because I told you to, right? Anyhow, so that's the first little intro. Then they go into the riff, which we learned in the last video. Please check that out if you haven't seen it. Okay, then they go into that. Then he starts singing, and the guitar player plays single notes along with the voice. Okay, then they go into this kind of thing. Okay, so that starts at the 7th fret of low E. This is the note B, same we had here, but it's good to play this over here. Then we go to the 5th fret of the A string. I'm bending that one just slightly. Just a little bit, not all the way. Not that far, right? And it's slow, it's not... It's like... kind of comes right back before the bend even gets there. That's a blues thing. It sounds like a human voice, kind of sliding in and out of notes in a cool way. So anyway, we got 3 here on this B. Ba ba ba. 1, 2, 3. Little slight bend back to the B. Bum, 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 ba, ba. Then we go ba da da da. Okay, we're going chromatically down, which means we're not skipping any notes. It's using. We just went right to the next note, then right to the next note. So sev, 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 5 over here with a slight bend, back to sev, 6, 5, 5, 5. We hang out there and we do 3 notes on there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we go down to 4. Ba da 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 da. That's the next part. 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. And we get back to 7. That's the first note again. And it stops there. Okay? All right, cool. Well, that's like the second cool riff in this song. The next one, da 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 da, da 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 da. Do 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 do, do 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 do. Okay, let's check that one out. So that's like over the singing. That could be sort of like the refrain part, chorus-y type of part. And you can use your open E string on this E power chord. So it starts on an E power chord, 7th fret of A, 9th fret of D. How do I know that's an E power chord, briefly? Well, we know the 5th fret is D. So that means D, D sharp, E note is right here, right? Add that power chord. Really good one to know about because you can add the open string to this power chord. Okay? Da 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 da. Down 2 frets to D. Probably best not to play the open E on this chord. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, now we go into this. So this is really cool. This is a B minor blues scale, basically. That would be the first octave of the blues scale. We can keep going. Check out the lesson on the movable blues scale if you haven't seen that one, okay? This is what they use in Sunshine of Your Love. Okay, we talked about that riff. This is kind of similar. We're just going up through the scale. But we actually added a new note in here. So this is a little different than the blues scale. It has another additional note added to our pentatonic. And my theory is just because it matches this one. You know, Tony Iommi knew he could add this note in there. And then he wanted to arrive here because that's the first note he started on again. That's the root of the scale. And he had this pattern, bop, bop, bop. Why not go bop, bop, bop and land on it, right? So it kind of makes sense that we'd be allowed to do that, even though that's technically not a note in our blues scale, okay? Okay, so we have ba, 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 ba. So there's going to be 3 notes here on this B note here, ba, ba, but really I kind of think about it as a group of 2, and then the third one starts a new group. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, that third B note starts a group of 3 notes. Ba, 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 ba. And it's just going to sequence through the scale. 1, 2, 3, going through 3 notes of that scale. And then when you get here, okay, we stay on this note. So it's 7, 7, 7, 10, 7 on A. Now when we get here, we go 7, 8, 9. Then we change strings. 7, 8, 9. Pretty simple, right? Basically through that scale with this added note. Okay? And some doubling. Okay? That's that riff. Do 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 do. From this one, it actually goes into the next one. Okay? It's pretty cool. It goes straight into that after like 2 of these. Okay, let's talk about that one now. Now we're up a whole step in C sharp pentatonic. Or the blues scale, I should say. The C sharp blues scale. And we're just running right down it. All the way down, and we go even further down and back to its root. So wait, how come we can go down a note below where the box is? Well, let's think about it. This one, that note is here, right? Same note. Okay, so did we have one 2 frets below that one? We did. So that must mean we can have one 2 frets below this one. Is that the same note as this? It is. That means we're still allowed to play it. I would call that box 5 of the pentatonic. Box 1. Okay, so we haven't really talked about the different forms, but there are 5 different boxes. So this would be reaching back into a different part of the neck, a different position to play this same scale. But really, we're just going down the scale and then going even further down one note and back up, or you can hammer on with that finger. And I prefer that way because it really lets us see this scale that we learned with just that little neighbor tone down there that we come right back for. We could also do different fingers though. Instead of playing the E here on my 12th fret, and we know that's an E because it's the same as the open string, right? Well, we also know that this is an E on the 7th fret of A. We just talked about that when we rooted our power chord there, right? So we can actually play that note there instead. And it's like we shifted into box 5 a little early. Here we're in box 1, box 1, box 5. As opposed to box 1, box 5. Just for that last note. So I don't want to confuse you with that. We'll talk about all the different boxes at another point. You'll be an expert in that in no time, so don't worry about that too much. Those are pretty straightforward once you dig into them. But really, we just want to notice that this is the scale. So I'm going to do the first way so we can really relate the shape we've already learned with that one little slide down. Doing mostly up picks there. Down, up, 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 down, up, down. Down, up, 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 down, up, down. Okay? So that's syncopation. See how I'm doing all the ups? That's because those are falling on off beats, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. That's the sound of syncopation that we learned about. So please check out the video on syncopation if you don't know what that means. But that's it. That's a great example of it right there. That's what makes this sound cool as opposed to... Right? That'd be normal. Displacing some of those using syncopation makes it a cooler line, right? Okay, great. So that's the third riff in this song. It would hang there and then it goes into a solo up in this area, which we're not going to get into today. That would really be a bit better suited for an electric guitar, but leave a comment if you're interested in tackling that one day. But anyway, that's the third lick, okay? Then it goes back into the rest of the song again, does some of those other licks we've already seen, and at the very end of the song it does this cool lick. Then he goes into some other ideas and does kind of an ending solo, and then he eventually comes back to that riff. We're just kind of looking at the main riffs. And this is very similar to what we had. Without this B note, it's these two notes we had and these two notes we had, right? Just used in a different way. So this is kind of the same thematic material kind of repurposed for this ending riff, which is what I think is really cool about it and why I wanted to show you that. So that's a pull off. So we play the 7th fret, and we pull off to 5, and then we pluck again at 7. Okay, then I do a hammer on and a pull off. I play 5, I hammer on to 7, and I pull back off to 5. Okay, so these might be tricky for you if you're new to this, but these are really good strength training for your fingers. If you can do these hammer-ons and pull-offs, when you're playing chords and regular notes, you'll find your fingers are a lot stronger. This is a really good exercise to be able to, if you're even making the sound happen by hammer-on and pull-offs, good sign that you're developing strength in this part of your arm, which is actually what controls the fingers. If you hold this part of your arm and you wiggle your fingers, you'll feel lots of stuff moving in here. It's not our hands that actually get strong, it's the muscles in here, right? So these hammer-ons and pull-offs, great exercise for these. So if they're difficult, don't worry about it. They're sort of supposed to be. Keep working on it, okay? Okay? Okay, so that's the next part. So we talked about the pull off, and then we go back down, pull off, boom, and then we got hammer on, pull off, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, that same pull off thing. Okay, now we jump up here. Okay, we go 9, 10, 9, 10. And then 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. That's a pretty tricky one. We go a quick hammer on from 9 to 10 all the way down to 5. Okay? Kind of tricky. Okay, that's it. And yeah, he does kind of a solo around that idea, comes back to the idea. So yeah, leave a comment if you want to explore some of that on the electric guitar eventually. But you know, that stuff is a little bit more of a jump from what we've been doing on this course. We've been moving pretty slow on this course, and we're learning some iconic riffs. Kind of just the ones that I happened to learn when I was new to guitar is why I'm showing you a lot of these, and I'm trying to make them tie into the other things that we've learned on the course, like these power chords and things like that, as much as I can. So I hope you're enjoying learning these songs. Please leave a comment, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you for another guitar lesson really soon. Thanks again. Bye.